and in the interest of time, we might skip over on that same train of thought into the customer review insights tab. We're skipping
Yes,
over
let's do that.
trends, which is interesting enough, but I think that's a little bit more self-explanatory. So customer review insights, and again, there's some information here. I would go read the metrics glossary. You can also see when this was last updated. So if I'm looking at this, today's the 12th, it was last updated on the 9th, which is kind of interesting. So they're definitely keeping this up to date, which means to your point that this is going to update over time depending on sort of shopper trends. But what this does, and again, very good practice, things that a lot of people do, what you said, like go look at your top competition. What are they doing? A great place to find out, consumer um interactions with the product is to go look at the reviews, right? So there's a lot of people who will scrape reviews on top competition, but you still have to go through and you have to look at those reviews. You have to aggregate them. You have to understand sort of, the general sentiments here. A lot of people are using AI for this. That's a really great option. Here, again, Amazon is consistently updating it. So you're not going to get the, every individual review. But you can see here on the customer review insights tab, by default, it's on positive topics, which is what is the aggregate insights that Amazon is pulling from all of the competitors in this niche. So across everything. So review snippets pertain to data collected in the last 6 months based on customer ratings with text reviews for products in the niche. And they will actually group it by topic. So for example, the one I'm looking at here, it says quality overall. And so it will actually give you quotes. So good quality overall. The second thing that they like is that it's strong. So like sturdy, well built, strong and durable and sturdy. Again, if you're making infographics, again, I am not a listing specialist. I'm not an SEO person, but I do know when it comes to marketing, it's nice to speak the language of the shopper. So here,
Yeah,
again, you're getting very good text snippets to identify things that could work well. So it gives you a good idea. Positive topics, a lot of them, people say, oh, good quality for price. So those I have found as I've gone through this are quite similar across the niche. But the thing that's really nice is if you look at that little blue positive topics, you'll notice that there's negative topics, which is great. We always want to hear everybody talk bad about stuff. Like what are people like, what do they really think? And here is where you can see like people thickness. Saying it's very thin, it's thin plastic, it's too thin. Here it mentions specifically the fold of the lid was super thin. That's a very specific call out. You can see ease of use, but that's categorized. So ease of use was hard to use. How was it hard to use? It was hard to get open. It was difficult to open or close. Super hard to remove. Hard to get the product out. Those are very specific things that people are saying, like, this is a storage container, so it's like it's hard to get it open and closed. Things are like sticking together. I can't get the product out. Cheaply made. A lot of people say slippery material. Slippery, slides open, doesn't stack well. Slippery and hard to use, not durable. Eventually they wear out. Like all these insights, again, aggregate over the last 6 months, being kept up to date and given specific quotes, which again can be used to improve or develop your product. If you unfortunately maybe got a rash of negative reviews, it's great to read those. And yes, you want to pull out any insights, but let's be honest, a lot of times people just leave a rating, they don't really leave a review, or
right.
they really don't tell you specifically what the problem is. And here, again, you can look across the entire consumer base in this niche, again, which is going to be a very specific subsection of the market, and say, okay, how can we improve? How can we get better? What things should we call out? Maybe we have all of these things. People say it gets dirty fast. It's not dishwasher safe. What if your product is dishwasher safe, but you're not calling that out anywhere in your products? That's a really easy thing. If you have a product that is specifically geared to fix any of these issues and you're not calling it out, first off, that's just not good practice. You want to call out every competitive advantage you have, but you can actually, if there's only so much you can fit in your images, if there's only so much you can fit in your listings, there's only so many keywords you can target, it actually ranks these by what the consumer, like the most common sentiments of consumers. So it actually gives you a hierarchy of all of the things that, you know, again, are important to the consumers. And when it comes to winning on Amazon, the thing that's the differentiator is, do you have a good product and do you have something that serves the consumer needs?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is a favorite saying of mine: accentuate the positive, eliminate the
Yeah.
negative, right? So this is exactly where you go in order to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. So you can do that in two ways.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, the hard way is to change your product, of course. That's a
Yeah.
long-term thing. But nevertheless, if your product has some of these characteristics that people don't like, that they report as negative, you
Mm-hmm.
need to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you, in fact, are strong in those areas, fine, you don't need to do anything.